When you feel broken and hurting, remember your change will come. As Scripture says, weeping may endure for a season, but joy surely will come in the morning. It takes a solid plan, good intentions, and consistent practice to see through the veil. Sasha Reagan, Unpublished Works. I'm Stephen Middleton, coming to you from the Possibility Action Network. Our core values include I am, I can, and I will. I am Possibility Man. Today, I want to share on the theme, you have a right to learn. But first, a reminder, if you're watching this video on Facebook, I invite you to like us and share this recording with someone you know. If you're watching this video on YouTube, subscribe to our channel so you'll get notice when we post new material. Now, back to our share. The first thing that I want to say is that isn't Facebook and YouTube and other platforms wonderful? They allow us to share information not only about our lives, but about the kinds of things that we're learning and that we think about and care about. And today, I want to share the unpublished writings of Sasha Reagan. When I first came across her writings, it inspired me. And I thought, maybe it will inspire someone that I share with on the World Wide Web. Now, I'm going to do this without much preparation. I just want to read from her writings and then see what occurs to me and make comments along the way. In my introduction, I read a paragraph, which I'll repeat again now and see what occurs to me. And whatever occurs to you, I invite you, drop a comment in the section below and give me some feedback. What are you hearing Sasha Reagan saying? When you feel broken and hurting, remember that your change will come. As Scripture says, weeping may endure for a season, but joy surely will come in the morning. It takes a solid plan. It takes good intentions and consistent practice to see through the veil. As I think about this passage from Sasha Reagan, what occurs to me is that we are never stuck. It's possible that we may feel stuck. It's possible that we may feel down, that we may feel wounded, that we may also feel broken. But those are just thoughts that we may have about a situation that appears in our life or a situation that once appeared in our life. What occurs to me is that these situations, these feelings are simply there, are residue from experiences that we might have, or there are phantoms, that there are beliefs about what may happen in the future. But none of those things are actually true. It means that as human beings, especially human beings, we have this function of thinking, and that thoughts continually flow through our minds, and it's possible for a thought to feel that it's stuck, and we may have this sense of stuckness. But what Sasha Reagan is suggesting is that we can let these thoughts go, that we can learn to allow thoughts to pass through. Now, the human being experiences, researchers say, approximately 60,000 or more thoughts in a given day, that we don't even know what we're thinking, because the mind does what the mind does. and that is to generate thoughts. Some of them may be sticky because of some past experience, as I've said before. Or some may feel sticky because we have worries about the future. What should we do about them? Imagine driving a car, or driving a motorcycle, or riding on a train. And as you ride on these vehicles, you'll notice that you'll probably pass a lot of trees or other cars, or perhaps if you're on a train, another train. And notice that these objects that are all around you, if they're buildings, if they're vehicles, they simply keep passing, as if these vehicles are passing through you, as if these objects are passing through you. And that's the experience, one of the experiences of life. Objects pass through us, thoughts pass through us, experiences pass through us. If you have a moment of them feeling sticky, it simply means that we contracted and then not allow that experience to go through us. But it wants to go through us. And as Sasha Reagan is saying, that we can let those experiences go. Now back to the reading. It takes courage, patience, and hard work to follow a path of healing, self-discovery, and forgiveness. This is the beginning of peace. This is the beginning of the peace that passeth all understanding. It is the way to freedom. It is the way of mindfulness. What do I make of this passage? And I'm eager to know what you make of this passage as well. What I think Sasha Reagan is saying is that it takes courage to allow a thought that you find to be stressful to go through you. Many of us, if we have a stressful thought of maybe 60 years ago when we were children, or 65 years ago when we were maybe 3 years old, it's easy to contract. It's easy to say, I don't want to experience that thought again. I don't want to feel it again. And because when we contract, once again, when we shut it down, we're actually sticking the thought in us. We're anchoring it in us. Sasha is saying that it takes courage to face a belief like that, to face an idea that comes up in the mind like that, and allow it to pass through. What I get from her is that, it doesn't take work as in power. It doesn't take force. It takes courage. It takes courage to see the blow. What occurs to me is that it's a lot like a boxer, a professional boxer, and occasionally I watch professional boxers in the ring. I was watching a match by Mike Tyson recently. And the thing is, Mike Tyson, the boxer, is not a very tall guy. I think he's probably shorter than 5'10" inches high, but he has fought some guys who are 6 feet or more. Mike Tyson had the courage to allow himself to be in a position to possibly get hit, but he knew that he could probably move out of the way. And that's what Sasha is talking about, is that it takes courage to allow a thought to come to us and to allow it to go through us. That takes courage. And then she mentions mindfulness in this passage. It is also the way of mindfulness. What I think she's pointing to here is that you have a right to learn in life. Life is a learning experience. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. No one on this planet is going to live life and not have experiences that makes them learn. So therefore, what it takes from this passage then is that every experience of life is for you to learn and for me to learn, and it's for everyone to learn, no matter where they are on the planet. And if we are learning from these experiences, then those experiences were neither good nor bad, but there were opportunities to learn. And if you look into the practice of mindfulness, it is simply to recognize that thoughts do come and go. That's just the way of it, and that there's nothing that we can do about it. Now back to the reading. There's always an opportunity for a new beginning, which allows you to become a better version of yourself. Every day is a new beginning. You can be born again. What do I make of this passion? What occurs to me is that you are already complete. A human being is already complete. A human being is already whole. A human being is already free. Sometimes it seems like something can get in the way. And the things that may seem to get in the way are the things that are not true. That are not true about what you are. If you are complete, that is the default setting of a human being. If you are whole, that is the default setting of a human being. What may get in the way, once again, has to be those things that we believe that are not true. Sasha says, every day is a new beginning. You can be born again. Now back to the reading. Living in your own brand of pain, misery, and hurt will not only adversely impact your growth, it will threaten all the other relationships you hope to have in this life. What do I make of this? Living in pain does not add value to the person experiencing the suffering. Living in pain does not add value to any other human being on the planet. Living in pain is not a corrective. You cannot correct things that happened 100 years ago, 200 years ago, and in some cultures, they're living in the pain of 2,000 years ago. Living in pain does not reach the divine. Living in pain cannot move God. Living in pain is actually a sticky note that sticks the person in this feeling of pain. And the feeling of pain is not real. It's illusory. It's false. I remember reading a passage from Abraham Lowe. He was a medical doctor who published his writings. He died in the mid-1950s. He published before the 1950s. And he once wrote that that feelings are not real, that they'll lie to you, that they will deceive you, that they will tell you of dangers that are not there. And so what Stasha then is adding to this is saying is to see through this, to see that you can be born again, to see that living in hurt only hurts the person who's experiencing them, that it's possible to let them go. Back to the reading. I forgive myself for all mistakes or errors. I forgive everyone who has harmed me in any way. What do I make of this? The this takes me back to the topic, the theme that I'm using for this reading. And the theme is, you have a right to learn. People have a right to learn, no matter what the experience of life is. In fact, it's not your fault. And this is why Sasha is writing about forgiveness. She says, I forgive myself. And then she says, I forgive others who may have harmed me. Now, be clear about forgiveness. She's not saying, I like the experience that I had. I'm smiling because that experience, even though it was hurtful, I'm happy about it. But maybe she couldn't get to that point where she could say that, because maybe her awakening could be so expressive, so luminous, that she might say, had it not been for that experience, I would not know what I know now. So therefore, I'm excited that I had the experience that brought me to this place in life. It's possible for a person to get there. And then she added, I forgive everyone who has harmed me in any way. And this could easily get twisted, because we think that when a person says they forgive someone, that they let the person off the hook. They're not doing that. What they're saying is that I do not hold that injury to their charge, because I realize that person was in his wrong mind or was in her wrong mind, because they too are going through the experience of life. No one is guilty. No one actually is responsible, because everyone is crippled by thoughts that are stressful, that they believe in. Back to the reading. Sasha says, I ask for peace in my life and a time to live in it. I also ask for spiritual, emotional, and physical health and wellness. I ask for a life of abundance. That's a meditation, is what occurs to me. That Sasha is practicing mindfulness when she says, I ask for peace in my life. She's coming back home. She's returning home. I ask for peace in my life. I ask for myself to be able to see the good that's in my life. That's a meditation. It's an act of mindfulness. I ask for a time to live in this peace. Is a meditation. It's an act of mindfulness, to be aware of the goodness that's in life now. I heard a writer and a teacher, Michael Singer, wrote some very fine books. One of them is called The Untethered Soul. If you have not read that book, I recommend it, because he is writing about what Sasha is writing about in this passage. And then he invites us to take a look at how magnificent this space of life that we occupy. He says, think about it. We're on a planet that's orbiting on this axis, the scientists say, that's rotating, and we are not falling off. We're actually on a planet in space. Think about that and the meaning of that. We are literally standing or sitting on a planet that's moving through space, that's rotating on its axis, and we're not falling off of it. Think about the power that's behind this life. Think about the power that's behind your life. Think about who you are. Think about what you are. Sasha Reagan, it is inviting us to consider mindfulness as a practice, to be aware of who we are, to be aware of our power, to be aware of our divinity. And then the last passage I'll read from the unpublished works of Sasha Reagan is this: I dedicate myself to be of service and to live my life positively. What occurs to me is that Sasha is aware that we do not walk alone, that we are all connected, the rich, the poor, the healthy, the sick. Those who have allowed thoughts to stress them out for so long that they cannot reconnect with reality, they too are what you are and what we are. And Sasha ends with her commitment, her dedication. She's saying she dedicates herself. She dedicates her life to living positively, to look for the good, to look for peace, to realize that she has, and of course she's writing for all of us, we have a right to learn. And then she closed with this passage: I am at peace with myself. What occurs to me, and remember I'm inviting you to drop some notes in the comment and share what occurs to you as I read the writings of Sasha Reagan, her unpublished works, and perhaps she would be inspired to take these on to publication. She closed in this passage I'm reading now: I am at peace with myself. She starts the sentence with I am. What do I make of this? Sasha invites us to consider our divinity. It's easy to look at people like a Sasha Reagan, like a Michael Singer, like a Michael Beckwith, like a Sydney Banks, like a Buddha, like a Jesus, like a Joan Tollefson, and the list goes on and on and on of individuals who we say they had it. They saw it. Sasha says, I am. I am. And she's inviting you to make that your meditation. That you begin your day when your eyes open, I am. What are you? I am more than this body. I am more than the thoughts that flow through my head. I am more than my past. I am more than the fears of my future. It's possible that I can be of service. There's one area that the Possibility Action Network is looking at now, and we're building up our mastermind network of like-minded individuals who believe the same way. We're calling together our tribe. Come with us. Come with us. Because we have made some discoveries about life. And Sasha is talking about one of them. We no longer have to live in the pain of the past. If you can't do it alone, great. Most people need to belong to a network, a mastermind. We're also discovering that we as humans no longer have to live with chronic diseases for the rest of our lives and take prescription drugs for our entire lives. And we are calling together our network. Come on over, get with us, talk with us. Let us mentor each other, because it's possible for us to be free of chronic diseases. Now, am I saying that, we're talking about a magic, like poof, everything is gone. I've been honest that I live with muscular dystrophy. And I was telling a friend of mine this morning that I remember when I launched my Redox lifestyle, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, about 3 years ago, a person that I talked to was saying to another party, we were trying to share with them that, look, that it's possible to live a vibrant life. He said, well, look at Dr. Middleton, he said. He called me out. Look at Dr. Middleton. He's living with muscular dystrophy. As I reflect on that person, I say that not because of ill will toward him. And maybe it's not 3 years later, maybe he understands. Maybe he understands that it's possible for a person to live a vibrant life even with a condition that may never change. And that's the message of the Possibility Action Network. We just have this feeling, this conviction that it's possible for a person to achieve financial fitness. You don't have to become a millionaire. That's crazy. Everyone will not become millionaires. Someone told me recently that I think it's Bezos, the founder of Amazon, is closing in on becoming a trillionaire. If he does, he'll be the only one. Everyone will not become trillionaires. That's not what we're talking about. But we have this conviction, this feeling that it's possible for a person to achieve financial fitness that's right for them. What does that mean? Being able to pay their bills. What does it mean? Being able to take a vacation without stress. What does it mean? Being able to have $1 in their pocket. What does it mean? Being able to give their kids positive life experiences. Now, I know what you're saying. Money is not everything. I like to say that the person who says that probably doesn't have some, because money is not everything. But I tell you what, as I think it was Zig Ziglar that said, it's right up there with oxygen. If you live in the world, you need some kind of money. I'm telling you that. I'm Stephen Middleton, coming to you from the Possibility Action Network. Our core values include I am, I can, and I will. I am Possibility Man. Until next time, good day.